December 2019. A Japanese console brand has just broken a world record. With over 450 million units sold across multiple generations, this brand has beat fierce competition to become certified as the best-selling video game home console brand ever.
I want to offer a sincere thank you to all our fans around the world who have played so many games on our consoles throughout the years.
Our story begins in 1992. These had become popular in Japan. Gaming consoles that connected to your television and allowed you to play at home. People were lining up to buy one. A world-famous electronics manufacturer decided to enter the market. It had produced hit products like portable music players and handheld camcorders, but never a gaming console. A subsidiary was formed specifically for video games, and a team was assembled for a top-secret project. Okamoto Shinichi, a key member of the team, reflects on that time.
As a major electronics manufacturer, the company had mostly been creating consumer electronics. But with advances in computing and the advent of the PC, it started thinking about the potential of new forms of entertainment enabled by computers. We decided to give it a shot.
However, one Japanese game company had dominated the market since the release of their home console in the 80s. Their dominance continued with a long lineup of great games. Could Okamoto's company leverage their strengths and create a new home console? With this in mind, development began. The developers first turned their attention to these arcade game cabinets. The high-spec computers in these machines allowed people to experience games with realistic 3D graphics.
We wanted to offer 3D graphics similar to those in arcade machines at home. The problem was the enormous cost. A single arcade machine cost thousands of dollars. How could we provide this at a price where children could ask their parents to buy it for them? That was the challenge we faced.
The team focused their attention on reducing cost. Their idea: to repurpose the 3D graphics technology the company had developed for television broadcasters. It could take a 2D image and add 3D depth. But the team soon ran into trouble. The hardware for broadcasters was about 180 centimeters tall. It would need to be shrunk in order to work as a home console.
The machine was about the size of a refrigerator. It was packed with boards covered in computer chips. There were so many of these chips that you needed a fridge's worth of space. That's how big it was.
The key to shrinking the hardware were chips called LSIs. By using LSIs, large-scale integrated circuits, the machine would be about the size of a video deck. However, the company lacked the technology. The team searched worldwide for a company that could do it. They discovered an American company in Silicon Valley that specialized in semiconductors. That company produced high-performance integrated circuits for industrial computers. When the team called this company, they were told what they wanted was indeed possible. But a surprise came when negotiating the contract. The initial order was a minimum of 1 million units.
As for the portable music players we were selling then, we'd manufacture about 3,000 to 5,000 units for launch day. It was common practice for an initial run of consumer electronics to be in the thousands. So when I heard the number 1 million right off the bat, it was a shock. We weren't sure it was okay to place such a huge order.
The new console they were developing would need to sell 1 million units right out of the gate. With trembling hands, a team member signed the contract. The development team had another challenge: the design of the game controller. With games entering the third dimension, a brand new controller had to be designed in order to facilitate movement in a 3D world.
There were no controllers for home consoles that could play 3D games at the time. We had to carefully think about its shape, how many buttons, where to put them, and what fingers would be used on the controller. There was nothing to base it off of.
Countless prototypes were made by the team. The final design was a controller with long grip handles, like aircraft controls. You'd hold the controller in both hands and press the buttons with your thumbs. They also added buttons at the top for your index and middle fingers. Now that the controller and the hardware were almost finished, there was only one issue remaining. That was the games. With their background in electronics, the company could create the hardware, but games were another story.
A game contains graphics and sound, meaning both music and sound effects. There's a lot that goes into developing each and every game. It's a complicated endeavor. We didn't have an internal team to make games. It'd be very challenging to build one up from scratch.
The success of a console requires the cooperation of game developers. There were all kinds of developers, but many of them had already entered contracts with established video game companies. How could the team enlist the help of these developers? A major selling point was the compact disc format the company had co-developed with an overseas company in the 80s. CDs were chosen to hold the games due to their low manufacturing cost and high storage capacity. A team member went to visit developers to sell them on the idea of this new console. He pitched the idea that developing for their console would be cheaper. By using CDs instead of cartridges, manufacturing would cost a third of what it did before. But this new console had yet to enter the market. Not a single developer agreed to work with them.
We hadn't sold a single unit yet. Actually, we hadn't even announced that the console existed. So their reaction was, "What do you want from us?" After all, if we only sold, say, 100,000 consoles, at most they could only sell 100,000 copies of their game. We were told, "Let's talk once you've sold 3 million.
Would any developers support this new console? The team was in despair. October 1993. The development team decided to take a risk. They invited game developers for a demonstration. The team would showcase just what kind of 3D graphics their new console was capable of.
We invited about 200 game developers and industry members to the company auditorium to see our machine in action. This was our one chance to show what we could do. If we messed up, there would be no going back. There was a lot hinging on this event.
The day of the demonstration, Okamoto brought the console from the development office and was finishing the setup. He pressed the power button, and panic. There was nothing on the screen. What was going on?
I had come in a rental car and used a cart to push the unit to the room. But this was a fragile test unit. It got bumped around too much on the cart and stopped working. I felt my heart skip a beat.
Okamoto scrambled to fix the machine. There was no telling whether it would work. In front of the large crowd, he hoped for the best and pressed the button. This is what the audience saw next. A T-Rex rendered in full 3D. By using the controller, it was even possible to move the dinosaur.
You could make its mouth open and close, or swing its head left and right. This was the level of expression our machine was capable of. The audience was blown away because this hadn't been done before. It was a huge success. I think we were able to make a very positive impression on the developers.
This was how this early 3D home video gaming console was revealed. Soon after, over 200 companies expressed interest in developing games for the new console.